In my video, Strange People, I discussed a case from Washington in which a postal worker observed seemingly pancake flat MIBs outside an office. In Ivanova, Russia, a man claims to have observed something similar, albeit with a twist. This case appeared on the Ex Libra UFO Russia website from an article published in the Chronometer magazine. It was January 1st, 2004. The man and his two friends had just finished celebrating the advent of New Year when they decided to go for a walk. It was around 1 a.m. They only had a little champagne to drink, so they were far from drunk. They bundled up and headed out into the cold night air. As they made their way down the darkened streets, they suddenly observed a large orange sphere that seemed to descend out of the night sky and advance towards them. The object then moved away and hovered above some nearby fir trees. As the men stared at it in wonder, the main witness looked around and spotted a strange person some meters away. He began to focus on the figure and quickly realized that what he was looking at was neither normal nor human. It had what appeared to be a snout and was staring at the witness in a mocking grin. It then turned sideways and the witness was stunned to see that it was completely flat in appearance, like it had been run over by an asphalt roller. Just then he felt a strong invisible wave that struck him and knocked him down against the ice-covered ground. He picked himself up and looked around. To his surprise, the sphere and the strange flat entity had disappeared. When he voiced his concern over the snouted flat entity, the two friends indicated that they had not seen it, as they were too busy watching the sphere. While it's possible this man had been slipped some type of drug, and he hallucinated the whole thing, the fact that his two friends observed the object suggests that indeed something weird happened that night. The entity described by the witness is similar to the flat people observed by the postman. However, the snout sounds in keeping with a dogman. Dogmen have been observed aboard UFOs, so who knows? In Tennessee, a man named Joshua claims that when he was young, he encountered a strange entity that, like in the previous case, defies description. This case appeared in the 40 Times. Joshua recalled that one night his mother was taking him and his brother to some place. As they left the house, the mother realized that she forgot her purse. She told them to wait there as she wanted to go into the house and retrieve it. As she went inside, Joshua looked over to his left. He was sitting in the back left seat of the car and saw, quote, the weirdest thing ever, unquote, sitting on his neighbor's front steps. It was a strange creature that he had never seen before. My memory for this has been slowly growing cloudy, so I am amazed that I still remember as much as I do. It was about the size of a man, I guess, and was white with fur or something completely covering it. Over the years, Joshua has thought about what he encountered, and he's concluded that whatever it wasn't a Sasquatch. It had somewhat the head of a camel, seriously, or something similar, with a neck that was little longer than a person's. As I remember it, it had arms just like a person would have, which were, I think, by its side, or in its lap like someone just sitting, because that's what it was doing. Its legs and feet, my memory really gets cloudy here, but I think it had legs that were shorter than it would have had if it was a person. Lastly, it had a fat tummy, like it had just eaten a beach ball or something. When his mother returned to the car, Joshua looked over at her. When he turned his attention back in the direction of the camel-headed entity, it was no longer there. Somehow, in that split second of turning his head and turning it back, it had vanished. Joshua tried to tell his mother of the strange entity, but she did not believe him. To this day, I still do not know what I saw. In 2014, a man named Ricky, camping in the Sequoia National Forest, claims he had a terrifying run-in with an entity that he could not explain. It was summer. Ricky's sister had decided to take him and some friends camping for the weekend. Ricky recalled that they were quite deep in the woods, and for much of that evening, it was quite enjoyable. At around 9 p.m., everybody decided to turn into their tents for the evening. Ricky and his friend decided to stay up and watch the fire. Eventually, they decided they were going to listen to some music, so Ricky walked over to his sister's 4Runner to retrieve his iPod. As he opened the door, he immediately heard something come out of the trees. To Ricky, it didn't sound so much like it jumped out of the tree, but it had lost its grip on the tree and fell out, crashing to the ground. Whatever it was impacted the ground with such force that Ricky could feel it. He turned his flashlight to the area where he heard the sound, and he quickly got the surprise of his life. I looked over at the tree I heard the fall from, and I swear on my life, I swear to God, honest to God, I saw a 6 to 7 foot tall praying mantis, and as I laid eyes on it, I completely lost breath. I was completely taken aback. It took a step back and it became completely invisible. I could not believe what I saw. I slammed the door and I ran back to the campfire. Ricky claims that he freaked out. He woke up everyone in the camp to tell them what he had seen. His friends did not believe him and eventually returned to bed. I was really upset because I knew what I'd seen. So that happened and my friend didn't believe me. He was laughing at me, and then all of a sudden I could hear all these things surrounding us, and finally when I brought it to my friend's attention, he kind of put his ear to it and he heard it too. Finally I was patrolling the campground with my flashlight and I could just hear these things surrounding us, and I heard like this clicking sound. It was really strange. I was so scared. So had Ricky really encountered an insectoid being in the woods, or was he just hallucinating? If Ricky did see what he claims, one has to wonder what might have become of him had he been out there alone. Would he even be alive to tell his story? The fact that this being, like the previous two, seemed able to vanish at will leaves me wondering if all these encounters are some type of projection. In New Zealand, a man claims that when he was a boy he saw something bizarre almost every night for months. Ghostly miniature figures engaging in battles in his bedroom. He recalled that when he was about 6, his family lived in Christchurch in an old rented 3-bedroom house on Selwyn Street in Sprayton. Sometimes he would wake up to find a war being waged on his bed with little people in medieval garb. There were kings, soldiers, horses, and even workable cannons, he remembered. Adding to the weirdness, there was never any noise to accompany the battles. It was just silence. Other times the witness would see a tall soldier walk out of the wall and go into the old wooden wardrobe, or vice versa. He never told anyone except for his brother, who also admitted to having seen the strange nighttime battles. Interestingly, when he was 20, the brother took his own life. He left behind a 9-month-old baby. It is unclear if the experiences in his youth had anything to do with why he committed suicide. I will be 40 soon, and every time I think about this, my whole body is covered in goosebumps. Ghosts of soldiers are fairly common, especially in battleground areas like Gettysburg. But sightings of miniature, almost toy-like soldiers engaging in battles is something else altogether. While it would be easy to chalk this account up to the wild imagination of a child, the fact that both brothers observed the phenomenon playing out suggests that it was maybe something more. The fact that the witness described that the battles were carried out visually but not audibly suggests that it might have been happening in another reality, and he was merely seeing a projection or a glimpse of it. It would be interesting to find out if that house on Selwyn Street is still playing host to these nightly battles.